Hello everyone, thanks for joining me today on Stay Home with Amber. In this video we are finally doing the complete office reveal, and it is a pretty low budget office. I didn't have a ton of money to work with, and I actually did go over budget just for not calculating correctly, but we'll talk about that in the video. Just know that you don't have to go all out and spend a ton of money to completely make over space. We began with a kind of canary yellow sunroom that was actually a pet room from the previous owners, and we have changed that. And at first we went with a gray color just to kind of neutralize it so that my husband could even have it as an office, but that's when he was working a lot out of the home. Now my husband's a remote worker and he is home all the time. His office is where he goes all day, every day. So I really wanted to make it special for him. He's always loved the look of those loft apartments with the brick and the metal, and so I really wanted to give him an industrial look in there and to love it being in there so that going to work in the morning from his bed to his office would not be a chore, but would be something that he looked forward to doing. And I think that we accomplished that even on the tight budget that we have. Now check out some previous videos if you want to see how I did some of the crafts from Dollar Tree that I'm putting in this office, and I also have a more detailed video on the shelf and how that came together. I hope that if you're looking at creating an industrial space, that you will be able to use some of these budget-friendly tips. These few quick changes created a very functional, fun, industrial, personalized style for my husband. So pretty much when we first moved in, we painted this office that was canary yellow, you can see in the top right corner there, to a gray, and that's because this was going to be a temporary office for when my husband was home, but he was working in a different state at the time, so this was only going to be when he was home visiting. So not a huge priority to update this office, and so just a nice gray to kind of be neutral and calm down that yellow. The yellow he didn't really like. I'm sure it was great for a sunroom, which I think this is what was originally a sunroom or some type of sitting room. And so I'm just going along the edges and fixing that up. And now you're going to see how we had it set up for him while he was home visiting from the state that he was working in. And, you know, it's kind of a mess. A lot of things gathered in here. But everything he needed, his Peloton and his computer and his desk, is in here. And we also have dog crates in here right now. This is like a tower that's just holding a bunch of extra paper and labels. The dog crates we are no longer even have in the house. We are just having the dogs roam free. But and then this is the shelf where we just kept a lot of storage, just random stuff in all these ugly rainbow color bins. Not rainbow, but like just different color bins. What a mess. So this is what it looked like, and you can see it's fine for if you're coming home and just working for a week here and there and then going back to the state that he was working in. It worked fine for that. But knowing that he is switching his job and coming home to be a remote worker, I really wanted to update the space and just make it special for him. So the first thing to do is to clear out these bins because I am going to be doing an update on these shelves. And if you've watched some of my recent videos, you know that I'm going to be doing an industrial style office for my husband. He has always loved those like loft spaces in New York, in tall buildings, the brick and the dark colors and the metal accents. And so that's what I really want to give him, but I have an extreme budget for this project. So I'm also keeping that in mind and trying to do the best I can with the money that I have. Right now I'm just taping everything up because I am going to be painting over this gray. It's a nice neutral color and it actually could probably go fine in an industrial office, but I really want it to pop and make it extremely unique. I'm just showing you that the rollers do fit on the Dollar Tree broom handles. So I put a roller, just a standard roller from Lowe's, onto the Dollar Tree broom handle, and that is helping me get the entire wall. You can see I'm painting this black, but this is like a blue black. I'm gonna have the shades listed below. I don't remember the name right this second. Maybe Midnight Black or Midnight Blue or something, but I really love it. It just has a slight blue tint, I think you can see right now, and I'm gonna have to go over this twice just because that gray was really good paint and the black didn't stick to it so well. So here's after I've gone over it 2 times. I really love it. I think it just gives a great pop of color in here, and I know some of you guys are gonna hate the dark. I know a lot of people like that light coloring, but I really love this black and it's going to work perfectly for the industrial office. Now right now all I'm showing you is that these are cube shelves that I got from Walmart. These are the very similar to IKEA Expedit or Calyx cube shelves, but these are the Better Home and Garden ones, and I'm just making them slightly different so they're not like every other cube shelf. These are like cookie cutter shelves that everybody has when they need a lot of storage, and these hold a ton. And I'm showing you right there that that shelf is already breaking from the move, but now I'm just taking out those side shelves so you can have, I have one long piece on top, and then the other shelf I have two long cabinets. So I decided to try to gel stain this. That's what you're seeing in the background. The smears are gel stain, but it came off really easily, so it wasn't going to stick onto that shelf. So I decided instead to do this is Dollar Tree wood paper. I really love the grain of this. It's really pretty. It's definitely a cheap paper, like a thin plastic, but it looks really good. So instead of going with the gel stain that I had already started with, and I was going to do another coat, I wasn't going to leave it like that. And I have a video with this complete shelf makeover if you want to see that. It's a little more detailed. But now I'm going to use the Dollar Tree wood grain contact paper. This is in the kitchen section of Dollar Tree, $1.25 a roll, and I think I used less than 8 rolls, 6 rolls is what I'm thinking, but I'm saying 8 because that's what I have there, and that is $10. So this whole shelf took under $30 to make over both of these shelves together. So keep that in mind. This is a really budget-friendly makeover, and I needed that because I had an extreme budget for this office. But look how good that wood grain looks on the shelf. And of course, against the black, the white would have been like so pronounced. I mean, it might have looked good in a modern setting, but that's not what I'm going for. And my husband really misses the wood of our old log home. So this is going to help bring some warmth of wood into the room. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm just cutting. And this is pretty easy to use, but I have to tell you, I've covered a couple since then. And if you get those plastic Dollar Tree scrapers from the tool section of Dollar Tree, you are going to have such an easier time, and I'm going to show you that in a future video, but for this one I just used my hands and smoothed everything. I'm trying to show you here, I'm not going to waste the paper covering inside the cabinets because those tall cabinet spots, I'm going to make doors for those and they're not going to show, so there's no point of using the contact paper in there. And I am going to use some cubes, 4 cubes in the middle here, so I'm only going to use the contact paper where it's going to show. So that's kind of what I'm trying to show you on the camera here. And now I'm going to get started on the other. This is the second set. These are feet that I got off of Amazon, and they were $8 when you bought them in a set of 4, $8 each. Actually a little under $8 each, so great price. I used Gorilla Glue to glue those on, and then I screwed them in. I used the Gorilla Glue because this is pressed board shelves, really cheap shelves, but hold a ton of stuff. So I do love the shelves. And you can see right here, I'm starting to use I used some gray duct tape at first to give it like metal accents on the sides. And again, budget, I did not have the money for metal, so duct tape from Dollar Tree is what I used. And I added some black paint just to kind of make it look aged and distressed, but I did not end up liking that in the end. So you're gonna have to see, I'll just say I used black duct tape from Dollar Tree instead. I could not peel off the gray, so I put it on top. So this is my first makeover furniture project, and not the best quality job, but I really do love how it turned out in the room. It looks spectacular. It's just a statement piece when it's in the room, and also when you don't look too close, which is kind of like a lot of my projects, don't look too close. So here are some Dollar Tree doors that I made, and I used basically 5-gallon paint stir sticks and 2 long signs from Dollar Tree, connected them all on the back with popsicle sticks or craft sticks, and these are just numbers from the teacher section of Dollar Tree that you can use on a poster board that teachers would use. I just cut them, I popped them out, they're little pop out numbers, and then I spray painted them silver so that they could look like these industrial aluminum numbers that might be on a industrial type cabinet. So I really love how this turned out. This was really fun. And the doors are kind of a pain and a project. So maybe you have a better idea for a door that might be easier, but again, on a budget. And I already had some of these crafting supplies, so that made it even cheaper for me right now. I didn't have to spend extra money. So here's the black heavy duct tape, that heavy duty duct tape from Dollar Tree that I did use to go over all of the silver duct tape. And you're going to see how that turns out soon. Okay, right now I'm just showing you the cabinet, and see, I did add some silver to the door to kind of age it, but then I ended up putting it all solid black. Okay, this is the brick wallpaper. This is going to be brick wallpaper that I'm going to use
I was trying to figure out which wall to use it on at first. It took me a really long time to decide, and I decided along the windows. All of the windows, it's the outside of the house, so it makes sense that that could be brick. So I'm going all along the windows, and I'm going to be adding this brick wallpaper. At first I only got 2 rolls of this thing, and I actually ended up using 3 rolls. So for this entire room, and I'm telling you, there is actually quite a bit of wall space in between those windows. It took 3 rolls, which was $75 before tax. So not a bad price at all to completely transform a room. You can see that makes the room look completely different. And people have actually had to go up and touch the brick to believe that it's not real. When we tell them it's wallpaper, they literally do not believe it. It has kind of a slight texture. It's a matte wallpaper, so it doesn't have a sheen, and it looks so good. Now, what I do want to tell you, I'm going to link this paper below, but I really hate this paper. I've worked with a lot of peel and stick wallpaper. This is the worst I've ever used, including the Dollar Tree shelf paper that I used. However, the look of it, that color of brick, I could only find it in this brand, and I still really love how it looks in the office, even though it was crazy to work with. And I can talk more about that. That it was just easy to rip and stuff. I'll probably put a little more about that in the description. So just be aware that it's not the best quality wallpaper. So I'm just giving you a peek of how it's looking right now, but then I ran out, and so I had to wait for the new roll. But what I do want to show you in this exact clip is that I am using, and I did this all across the top, a Dollar Tree super glue on the top. I know that sounds crazy, but if you do not super glue the top of your wallpaper, and I've done peel and stick wallpaper many times, it will fall off. It will fall off because all of our walls right now are textured. I don't think very many of us have completely smooth walls at all. We all have that texture type of wall, and so it will stay up for maybe a week or 2, and then it'll start to peel. So just add a line of super glue to the top where the roof meets the wall here, and where it's going to start, and it will help it stay up. It will stay up as long as you need. A year or 2 years. I think we had a year and a half the last one, and it stayed up completely, but it started falling down before I added the super glue. So that's super important. Now I'm just using my Dollar Tree X-Acto knife or box cutter. Actually, this may be my husband's, but this is the best way to go, is to have one of these handy, a box cutter, because it just cuts off and trims off the excess, and you're just going to trim along the line of the wall. You don't have to push super hard. You don't want to cut the wall, and it cuts that paper right off, and it gives it a really great line on the ceiling. All right, so now that the other roll came in, there's some things that you have to worry about a new roll, and that is the color. But for this particular wallpaper, the color matched completely, even though it was a completely new batch. I bought the first 2 sets when I was starting to do the office, and this has been weeks before I'm buying the second set, and just the second 2 rolls. I got 2 more rolls just in case, but I only ended up using the 1, and I have excess of the 1. So 3 rolls with some extra brick wallpaper. So here you're seeing I just did an even stripping. You can see I have some on the right, and I have some on the left, and some in the middle. Now what I did on the windows is I finished the top completely. That was easier, and then I measured and cut a strip of what the width was in between the windows. I cut a strip of brick there, and I just kind of lined up the white line of the brick to the white line on the top. Is this confusing? And put it on, and that way you didn't have to just cut all of that off. I'll show you when I do the bedroom. I do have to cut. I did it a little differently, and I like this way much better. It was much easier. So just did all the top of the windows, and then added these strips as needed, and they blend really well, and I think they look great. So there is nothing to worry about. You can see how well that's blending. The other thing you're going to have to think about, if you're doing a pattern wallpaper, you are going to have to think about lining up the pattern, lining the bricks to be even. So I have seen people in reviews that did not do that, and they still were happy with the results. I don't even know if they noticed, but I really wanted it to line up for myself, but also because my husband is going to be picky about that. He is going to definitely notice if it is not lined up. So lining all that up. So you can see I just took a strip and patched the right side there, blended it, and it actually looks really great. You can't even tell that it's another strip of wallpaper. And I love how the brick looks against that black. Okay, so now I'm just patching in down below the windows and trying to match some of that up. That was a little more difficult, and it's not as noticeable as the top. So definitely make sure you make some good effort on the top. So this is another peel and stick wallpaper, and it's the cement, and I wanted to put this on the floor. I've seen people do this on YouTube, and so I thought I'm going to give it a try. this was harder than doing it on the wall. It just got a ton more wrinkles and it was harder to pull up and reset, but that's okay. I actually like how it looked in the end, and even the wrinkles, because it is a type of cement floor, it kind of looked like, you know, maybe the cement was cracking or whatever. So it wasn't a huge deal that it started to do that, at least in my head. It's not a huge deal. But if I had spent a lot more time, like went really, really slowly, I'm sure that it would have looked better. See, that strip did a lot better than that first strip where I had to cut out some of the side. All right, so I finished the floor, and the floor was actually also $70, $35 a roll. I used 2 rolls, and this time the second roll was a little mismatched. You're going to be able to see that in a different video or a different clip, but it's slightly mismatched. You can't really tell when you're in the room unless you're really looking, which is surprising because you're going to be able to see it really clearly. Now I'm just adding stuff to the shelf now that it's ready, and these are all Dollar Tree projects that I made. I have other videos of these on my channel if you want to kind of see how I did some of this stuff. The zinc baskets up there that are holding the books and this sculpture with the gears are really my favorite from Dollar Tree. Everything else was just like, what else can I do to put in here? And I did like how everything turned out. So if you want some ideas, go ahead and check out those other videos. Really, it's just metallic accents to help bring in like that industrial thought style. Not perfect, but you know, Dollar Tree and budget friendly. And I love decorating with books. These are Dollar Tree books that I just removed the dust covers from and added them for some height for some of the props that I made. Now the shelf, I know not all of these decoration accents are going to probably stay there. My husband's probably going to want to fill some of these cubes with some of his items for his office when he gets back. So this might change a little, but for now, just the presentation when he walks in, I think it's really great. And I do want to mention that these bins are the cheapest bins that I found that are 13 by 13 that fit in these cube shelves. They will be linked on Amazon. They are the perfect coloring for this shelf and for this room. That's how it looks. Okay, so now I'm just adding some hooks, and these are clear hooks from Dollar Tree. I did a little piece of like, it's not really art, but yeah, I guess it is art from Dollar Tree. These are grid squares from Dollar Tree, and I am clipping on some patents from Nikola Tesla that I found on Amazon. So I'm going to link those below, but you can find any color or any type of patent from a lot of different inventors. You can do different colors. I chose the black with the white, but you could do the blues. And oh, we're already on the before, so get ready, guys. This is the before, and here is the reveal. And my husband has already been back in this office for over a month, and he loves going in here every morning. It is the brick and the wood and the black and the cement. He just loves it, and it's just the perfect office for him.
Well, I hope you loved that office reveal. It was a lot of fun doing it. It was my first time making over any room ever. And so there was a lot of trouble along the way, but despite all those little small problems that I ran into, I am really happy with how it came out. Now, next up on the list is my living room, which I'm going to be turning into a dark academia library living room style. I'm super excited about it. Moody, warm living room with a ton of books. Stay tuned to this channel if you want to see that full makeover. We'll do the same thing that we did with this video, where we do bits and pieces and all the separate projects and then put it together in the end, so you can see how that beautiful living room turned out. But thanks so much for joining me today on Stay Home Tamper. I will see you next time. Bye guys.